stop being soft to everyone, for kindness without boundaries can lead to self-sacrifice, burnout, and an unbalanced life. Being soft often appears as an act of kindness, yet it fundamentally differs from genuine compassion and strength. True kindness stems from a place of self-respect, where you honor your own needs while offering love and support to others. Softness, on the other hand, is born from the fear of conflict or rejection, and it can silently erode your self-worth. When you constantly prioritize others' needs over your own, you unintentionally teach people to disregard your boundaries, setting a pattern where they feel entitled to take advantage of your leniency. Being soft often seems like an act of kindness, but it is fundamentally different from genuine compassion and strength. Softness, in its essence, is the habit of compromising oneself too much, allowing others to take more than they should, and putting their needs above your own repeatedly. While kindness is rooted in strength and understanding, softness emerges from the fear of conflict or rejection. This distinction is subtle yet profound, because being too soft can silently erode your self-worth and leave you feeling empty and unappreciated. When you allow others to overstep your boundaries, you unintentionally teach them that it is acceptable to ignore your needs and desires. This creates a pattern where people feel entitled to take advantage of your leniency. Over time, the energy required to maintain such dynamics becomes overwhelming, leaving you drained emotionally and mentally. You may begin to question why you feel so exhausted and disconnected. But the answer lies in the lack of boundaries that should have protected your energy and individuality. Without these limits, your identity becomes enmeshed with the demands of others, leading to a loss of self and an increasing sense of powerlessness. The consequences of being too soft can manifest in every area of life, from personal relationships to professional environments. In friendships, you may find yourself agreeing to things you don't want to do, or constantly sacrificing your time and effort for others who seldom reciprocate. In the workplace, being soft might lead to taking on tasks beyond your capacity, all to avoid disappointing others or being perceived as uncooperative. These patterns, although seemingly harmless at first, gradually build up resentment and frustration, not just towards others, but towards yourself. You begin to wonder why your kindness is not valued, why people don't treat you the way you treat them. This dissonance between your actions and their outcomes often causes inner turmoil, further diminishing your confidence and self-esteem. Being soft also creates a sense of dependence in relationships that is neither healthy nor sustainable. People may start to see you as someone who is always available, someone who will never say no, regardless of the cost to your well-being. This perception not only diminishes their respect for you, but also reduces your ability to influence how you are treated. When you give away your power through excessive softness, you leave yourself vulnerable to being exploited. Instead of being seen as kind and compassionate, you may be viewed as someone who can be easily manipulated, further entrenching you in cycles of unequal relationships. One of the most damaging effects of being soft is the gradual erosion of your self-worth. When you continuously prioritize others' needs over your own, you send yourself a subconscious message that your feelings, desires, and limits are less important. This internal narrative can grow louder over time, leading to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. You might even start believing that you need to be soft to be loved or accepted, perpetuating a harmful cycle where you suppress your true self to meet the expectations of others. This dynamic not only harms your sense of identity, but also deprives you of the authenticity that is crucial for meaningful and fulfilling relationships. Breaking free from the trap of being too soft requires recognizing its impact on your life and reclaiming your sense of self. It begins with understanding that your worth is not determined by how much you sacrifice for others, but by how much you value yourself. This shift in perspective allows you to see that boundaries are not acts of selfishness, but expressions of self-respect. Setting limits does not mean you care less for others. It means you care enough about yourself to ensure your needs are met. It is about finding balance, being kind without losing strength, being compassionate without compromising your integrity. By learning to assert yourself with confidence and grace, you can transform your relationships and reclaim the power you once gave away. Boundaries are the invisible lines we draw to define what is acceptable in our lives. They are essential tools that safeguard our emotional well-being, mental health, and personal energy. Without them, the demands of the world can overwhelm us, pulling us in multiple directions and leaving us feeling depleted. The importance of boundaries lies in their ability to protect our inner peace and help us prioritize what truly matters: our personal growth, health, and happiness. They act as filters, allowing us to engage meaningfully with others while preserving our sense of self. Far from being selfish, boundaries are acts of self-care that ensure we remain whole, grounded, and authentic. Establishing boundaries creates clarity in relationships, defining where you end and others begin. This clarity helps both parties understand what is acceptable, minimizing misunderstandings and potential conflicts. When people know your limits, they are less likely to overstep them. And when they do, you have a clear framework to address the issue. This transparency fosters trust and mutual respect as both sides feel secure knowing that their needs and limits are being acknowledged. Without boundaries, relationships can become unbalanced, with one party consistently giving more than they receive. Such imbalances not only breed resentment, but also undermine the foundation of trust and respect that healthy relationships require. Boundaries also serve as a mechanism for preserving your energy. In a world that often glorifies overcommitment and constant availability, it can be easy to stretch yourself too thin, saying yes to every request and meeting others' expectations at the expense of your own needs. This approach might seem noble at first, but it often leads to burnout and emotional exhaustion. Boundaries act as a shield, allowing you to allocate your energy to the things that truly matter. They give you permission to say no when something does not align with your priorities, enabling you to focus on activities and relationships that nourish your soul rather than drain it. For many, setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable or even guilt-inducing, particularly if they are used to putting others' needs before their own. This discomfort often stems from a societal narrative that equates selflessness with virtue, perpetuating the idea that prioritizing oneself is selfish. However, boundaries challenge this notion by demonstrating that self-care and compassion can coexist. By setting limits, you are not rejecting others, but rather creating a healthier dynamic where your needs are valued alongside theirs. This balance is critical for maintaining your well-being and ensuring that your kindness comes from a place of abundance rather than depletion. The absence of boundaries can lead to significant emotional and mental strain. Without clear limits, you may find yourself constantly adjusting to accommodate others' demands, losing sight of your own values and priorities. This lack of direction can create a sense of chaos, as you are pulled in multiple directions without a clear sense of purpose. Over time, this can lead to feelings of resentment, frustration, and even bitterness, as you realize that your efforts are not being reciprocated or appreciated. Boundaries serve as a compass, helping you stay true to yourself and navigate life's complexities with confidence and clarity. Setting boundaries is not about building walls to shut others out, but about establishing guidelines for how you wish to be treated. These guidelines communicate your expectations and create a space for mutual respect and understanding. For instance, in a professional setting, boundaries might mean setting limits on your availability to ensure that your work-life balance remains intact. In personal relationships, they could involve communicating your emotional needs or expressing when certain behaviors are hurtful. By articulating your boundaries, you empower others to interact with you in a way that honors your values and well-being. Boundaries also play a crucial role in personal growth. When you protect your time and energy, you create room for self-reflection, learning, and pursuing your goals. They allow you to step back from the noise of the world and focus on what truly matters. Whether it is building a career, nurturing a passion, or cultivating inner peace. This intentionality not only enhances your sense of fulfillment, but also strengthens your resilience as you learn to navigate challenges with greater clarity and purpose. Boundaries help you stay aligned with your values, ensuring that your actions reflect your authentic self rather than the expectations of others. One of the most empowering aspects of boundaries is their ability to shift your mindset from one of obligation to one of choice. When you establish clear limits, you regain control over your decisions, making them based on what feels right for you rather than what others expect. This shift can be liberating as it allows you to approach life with a sense of agency and autonomy. You no longer feel compelled to say yes out of fear or guilt, but instead choose to engage in ways that genuinely resonate with your values and priorities. Boundaries also strengthen your relationships by fostering healthier dynamics. When you set limits, you encourage others to do the same, creating an environment where both parties feel respected and valued. This mutual respect enhances trust and communication as each person feels safe to express their needs and boundaries without fear of judgment or rejection. Over time, these dynamics lead to deeper, more meaningful connections as both sides learn to navigate their differences with empathy and understanding. Boundaries thus serve as a foundation for relationships that are balanced, fulfilling, and supportive. Admittedly, setting and maintaining boundaries can be challenging, particularly when faced with resistance from those who are accustomed to your leniency. Some may perceive your boundaries as rejection or selfishness, and their reactions may test your resolve. However, it is important to remember that boundaries are not about pleasing others, but about honoring yourself. Those who truly care about you will respect your limits, recognizing that they are an expression of self-respect rather than a lack of care. Over time, these boundaries will not only protect your well-being, but also inspire others to reevaluate their own approach to relationships and self-care. Boundaries are a powerful tool for living authentically and intentionally. They allow you to engage with the world on your terms, preserving your energy and well-being while fostering deeper connections with others. By setting and honoring your limits, you affirm your worth and create a life that reflects your values and aspirations. Boundaries are not just a means of protection, but a pathway to personal growth, happiness, and fulfillment, enabling you to thrive in every aspect of life. The fear of upsetting others or being perceived negatively can make it difficult to establish and maintain boundaries. Many people struggle with feelings of guilt when they say no or set limits, especially if they are used to prioritizing others' needs over their own. This guilt can be compounded when others react poorly, using emotional appeals or accusations to challenge your decisions. For instance, someone might say, "You've changed," or "You don't care about me anymore," creating a sense of emotional conflict that makes you question whether setting boundaries is worth the effort. However, it is essential to recognize that these reactions often reveal more about the other person's struggles than about the validity of your boundaries. People who truly care about you will respect your boundaries, even if they initially find them challenging. These individuals understand that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and trust, which require acknowledging each other's needs and limits. While their initial reactions might be driven by surprise or misunderstanding, genuine connections have the resilience to adapt and grow stronger in the face of new dynamics. On the other hand, those who consistently resist your boundaries or attempt to undermine them may not have your best interests at heart. Their behavior serves as a reminder that boundaries are not just about protecting yourself, but also about filtering out relationships that are unbalanced or harmful. The process of setting boundaries is further complicated by the internal conflicts it can create. You might find yourself second-guessing your decisions, wondering if you are being too rigid or unreasonable. This self-doubt is a natural part of the process, especially if you have spent years accommodating others at the expense of your own well-being. It is important to remind yourself that boundaries are not about being inflexible, but about creating a framework that supports your health and happiness. They are acts of self-care that allow you to engage with others authentically and sustainably rather than from a place of exhaustion or resentment. Another challenge lies in the inconsistency that can arise when you are still learning to set and enforce boundaries. It is not uncommon to waver in your resolve, particularly when faced with pushback from others or moments of vulnerability. For example, you might set a boundary with someone, but later feel pressured to relax it to avoid conflict or maintain harmony. This inconsistency can create confusion, both for you and for the people in your life, as it undermines the clarity and stability that boundaries are meant to provide. Overcoming this challenge requires patience, practice, and a willingness to forgive yourself when you stumble. Boundaries are not static. They evolve as you gain confidence and clarity about your needs. Setting boundaries also requires clear communication, which can be intimidating for those who are not accustomed to asserting themselves. Expressing your needs and limits in a way that is both firm and respectful takes practice, as it involves balancing honesty with compassion. You might worry about finding the right words or fear that your message will be misunderstood. However, effective communication is a skill that improves over time. And the more you practice articulating your boundaries, the more natural it will feel. Remember that it is not your responsibility to control how others react to your boundaries. Your role is to communicate them clearly and consistently. The reactions you receive when setting boundaries can vary widely, from acceptance and support to resistance and even hostility. Understanding this range of responses can help you navigate the process with greater confidence. For instance, some people may need time to adjust to the changes your boundaries introduce, while others may immediately recognize and respect your limits. It is important to approach these situations with empathy, acknowledging that everyone processes change differently. At the same time, you must remain firm in your commitment to your boundaries, as their purpose is to protect your well-being and ensure that your relationships are healthy and balanced. One of the most empowering realizations about boundaries is that they are not meant to please others, but to serve your needs. While it is natural to want harmony in your relationships, prioritizing others' comfort over your own well-being often leads to imbalance and dissatisfaction. By setting and maintaining boundaries, you send a clear message that your time, energy, and emotional health are valuable. This self-respect not only benefits you, but also sets a positive example for others, encouraging them to respect themselves and their boundaries as well. Overcoming the challenges of setting boundaries requires resilience, self-awareness, and a commitment to your values. It involves recognizing that discomfort, both yours and others, is a natural part of the process and does not diminish the importance of your limits. With time and practice, you will grow more confident in asserting yourself and more comfortable with the idea that boundaries are a necessary component of healthy, fulfilling relationships. They are not barriers to connection, but bridges that create space for mutual respect, trust, and authenticity. By embracing the challenges of setting boundaries, you take an essential step toward creating a life that reflects your worth and priorities. At its core, kindness with strength means recognizing the power of standing your ground without resorting to hostility or aggression. It involves knowing when to say no and doing so in a way that respects both yourself and the other person. This approach can be challenging, particularly in a world that often equates kindness with passivity. Many people mistake a calm demeanor for a lack of conviction, assuming that kindness is an invitation to push boundaries. Practicing kindness with strength challenges this misconception by demonstrating that you can be firm while remaining respectful and composed. The strength in kindness lies in its ability to diffuse conflict and foster connection. When you respond to challenges or difficult situations with kindness, you create an environment where understanding and resolution become possible. This does not mean avoiding tough conversations or denying your feelings, but approaching these moments with a sense of balance and emotional control. For example, when someone oversteps your boundaries, addressing the issue with kindness allows you to communicate your needs effectively without escalating the situation. This combination of compassion and firmness not only reinforces your boundaries, but also models respectful behavior for others. Practicing kindness with strength also means being honest, even when the truth is uncomfortable. True kindness is not about sugarcoating reality or avoiding difficult topics to spare someone's feelings. It is about caring enough to be real with others, sharing your thoughts and feelings in a way that is both considerate and truthful. This level of honesty requires courage, as it often involves risking discomfort or misunderstanding. However, it is through this vulnerability that authentic connections are formed, as both parties learn to trust and respect each other's perspectives. In relationships, kindness with strength helps to create a dynamic of mutual respect and understanding. When you set boundaries and enforce them with grace, you show others that you value yourself while also respecting their autonomy. This balance encourages healthier interactions, as both sides feel empowered to express their needs and limitations. Over time, these dynamics build trust and deepen connections, creating relationships that are both supportive and sustainable. Without strength, kindness can lead to imbalances where one person's needs are consistently prioritized over the others, eroding the foundation of respect that healthy relationships require. Kindness with strength also plays a crucial role in self-respect. When you uphold your values and boundaries, you affirm your worth and demonstrate to yourself that your needs matter. This self-respect not only enhances your sense of confidence, but also influences how others perceive and interact with you. People are more likely to respect those who respect themselves. And by practicing kindness with strength, you set a standard for how you expect to be treated. This approach sends a clear message that you will not allow others to take advantage of your generosity or mistake your kindness for weakness. The challenges of practicing kindness with strength are real, particularly when faced with resistance or criticism. Some people may perceive your assertiveness as coldness or interpret your boundaries as rejection. These reactions can be difficult to navigate, especially if you are someone who values harmony and avoids conflict. However, it is important to remember that standing your ground does not make you unkind. It simply shows that you are prioritizing your well-being while remaining compassionate toward others. Over time, those who truly care about you will come to understand and appreciate the balance you are striving to achieve. Kindness with strength also requires a deep understanding of your own values and priorities. Without clarity about what matters most to you, it can be difficult to determine when and how to assert yourself. Taking the time to reflect on your needs, boundaries, and goals allows you to approach situations with greater confidence and intention. This self-awareness forms the foundation for practicing kindness with strength, as it enables you to align your actions with your values while remaining flexible and open to others' perspectives. Practicing kindness with strength is about finding balance between compassion and conviction, between empathy and assertiveness. It is a skill that takes time and effort to develop, but its impact is profound. By embodying this balance, you can create a life that honors both your values and your relationships, allowing you to move through the world with confidence, clarity, and authenticity. In doing so, you demonstrate that kindness is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to inner strength and resilience. Adapting boundaries over time is an essential part of maintaining balance and well-being in a constantly evolving life. Boundaries are not static. They must shift and grow to reflect changes in your circumstances, priorities, and personal growth. What may have served you well in one phase of life might no longer be sufficient as new challenges, opportunities, and relationships arise. The ability to reassess and adjust your boundaries ensures that they remain relevant and effective, allowing you to protect your well-being while embracing the changes that come your way. Life transitions, such as starting a new career, entering a relationship, or becoming a parent, often require a reevaluation of your boundaries. These moments bring new demands and responsibilities, which may necessitate different limits on your time, energy, and emotional resources. For example, the boundaries you set while managing a single lifestyle may need to be redefined when balancing the needs of a partner or family. Similarly, career advancements or shifts in professional goals might require clearer boundaries to protect your work-life balance and personal growth. By adapting your boundaries to align with these transitions, you create space for your evolving priorities while maintaining the integrity of your well-being. Adapting boundaries is not only about responding to external changes, but also about honoring your internal growth. As you gain a deeper understanding of yourself, your values, and your goals, you may find that certain boundaries need to be strengthened, relaxed, or redefined. Personal growth often brings increased clarity about what truly matters, enabling you to set limits that reflect your authentic self. This process of realignment ensures that your boundaries continue to support your journey rather than hindering it, by fostering a sense of alignment between your actions and your aspirations. Adjusting boundaries can sometimes feel uncomfortable, particularly when it involves changing dynamics in established relationships. Others may resist or question these changes, especially if they have grown accustomed to previous patterns of interaction. However, it is important to remember that adapting boundaries is not about rejecting others, but about creating a healthier and more sustainable foundation for connection. Communicating these adjustments with honesty and compassion can help others understand your perspective and adapt to the new dynamic, fostering mutual respect and understanding. Flexibility is a key aspect of adapting boundaries. While it is important to uphold your core values and priorities, rigidity can prevent you from fully engaging with the opportunities and challenges that life presents. Being open to reevaluating and adjusting your boundaries allows you to remain adaptable and resilient, navigating life's complexities with greater ease. This flexibility also empowers you to address unforeseen circumstances, such as changes in health, finances, or relationships, with confidence and clarity. The process of adapting boundaries over time is a reflection of your commitment to self-care and personal growth. It is an acknowledgement that life is dynamic and that your needs and priorities will evolve. By regularly reassessing your boundaries, you ensure that they remain aligned with who you are and who you are becoming. This practice not only protects your well-being, but also allows you to engage with life authentically and intentionally, creating a foundation for lasting fulfillment and balance. When you establish and uphold boundaries, you demonstrate a clear understanding of your intrinsic value. This act tells others that you will not tolerate behaviors or dynamics that undermine your sense of self-worth. It is not about creating distance or rejecting others, but about fostering relationships where mutual respect and understanding are paramount. Boundaries create the framework for healthier interactions by ensuring that your needs and limits are acknowledged and honored. They signal to others that you take yourself seriously and expect the same from them. Setting boundaries also reinforces the importance of your time and energy as finite resources that deserve to be treated with care. When you allow others to infringe upon your boundaries without consequence, you risk depleting yourself for the sake of meeting their demands or expectations. Over time, this pattern can lead to feelings of resentment, exhaustion, and even a diminished sense of self. Enforcing boundaries, on the other hand, empowers you to protect your resources and allocate them in ways that align with your priorities and goals. It enables you to engage in activities and relationships that uplift and nourish you, rather than drain you. Self-respect through boundaries is not only about how you interact with others, but also about how you treat yourself. By setting and maintaining limits, you affirm that your needs and feelings are valid and deserving of attention. This self-validation is crucial for building a strong sense of self-esteem and confidence, as it encourages you to prioritize your well-being without feeling selfish or guilty. It is an acknowledgement that you are worthy of care and consideration, not just from others, but from yourself. Enforcing boundaries can be challenging, especially when faced with resistance or criticism from those who may not understand or respect them. Some people might attempt to test your limits, dismissing your boundaries as unnecessary or inconvenient. These moments can feel uncomfortable and may even make you question the legitimacy of your boundaries. However, it is important to remember that self-respect requires consistency and commitment. When you stand firm in your limits, you reinforce their importance and teach others how to treat you. Over time, even those who initially resisted may come to respect and appreciate the clarity and stability your boundaries bring to the relationship. Boundaries also play a pivotal role in fostering self-awareness. The process of identifying and enforcing your limits requires you to reflect on your values, priorities, and emotional triggers. This introspection helps you gain a deeper understanding of what truly matters to you, enabling you to align your actions with your core beliefs. As a result, boundaries become more than just protective measures. They become expressions of your authentic self. They serve as reminders of who you are and what you stand for, guiding you toward a life that is both purposeful and fulfilling. By setting and upholding boundaries, you not only cultivate self-respect, but also inspire it in others. When people see you valuing your time, energy, and well-being, they are more likely to follow your example and adopt similar practices in their own lives. This ripple effect extends beyond individual relationships, contributing to a broader culture of mutual respect and understanding. In this way, boundaries become a powerful tool for creating positive change, not just within yourself, but in the world around you. Self-respect through boundaries is about recognizing your worth and having the courage to act on that recognition. It is about rejecting the notion that you must sacrifice your needs to be accepted or loved. Instead, it is about embracing the belief that you deserve to be treated with dignity and care, both by yourself and by others. By setting boundaries, you create a life that reflects your values and honors your worth, paving the way for deeper connections, greater fulfillment, and lasting peace. In conclusion, boundaries are not walls erected to exclude others, but pathways that foster healthier and more balanced relationships. They serve as tools to communicate your needs and values while creating an environment of mutual respect and understanding. By defining these limits, you empower yourself to protect your well-being, prioritize what truly matters, and maintain a strong sense of self-respect. Boundaries allow you to engage authentically with others, ensuring that your relationships are built on trust and fairness rather than sacrifice and compromise. Living a life guided by boundaries also means embracing the delicate balance of kindness and strength. It is about being compassionate without losing sight of your own needs, standing firm in your values while remaining open to connection. This balance enables you to thrive authentically, fostering deeper relationships that align with your personal growth and priorities. By setting boundaries, you are not only honoring yourself, but also inspiring those around you to respect their own needs and limits, creating a ripple effect of healthier, more fulfilling interactions. Ultimately, boundaries are acts of love and respect, both for yourself and for others. They allow you to lead a life that prioritizes well-being without sacrificing compassion or authenticity. Through the thoughtful practice of setting and maintaining boundaries, you create a foundation for personal fulfillment, meaningful connections, and a life that reflects the strength and kindness within you.